everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about my most anticipated releases for April. So spring and summer are like prime time publishing times, so there's a lot of books. And some of these, so books normally release on Tuesdays, but some of these dates are a little bit weird. And I have found that like a Kindle version comes out or a paperback version comes out. So as far as I can find, these are the first publishings, according to Goodreads and some other sources that I could find. They're the first publishing, but if they're not, feel free to let me know. My daughter had tennis and it's like an hour long and I didn't have other kids with me. And so I just brought my computer and like went into a deep hole of new releases coming out. So it's kind of a long list. So let's just get started. So on April 2nd, we've got She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubica. This is about an ICU nurse. She's a single mom. She treats this patient who was, I think, involved in like a hit and run or some sort of car crash. Or no, she was pushed off a bridge. Something like that happened. She fell off a bridge, I think. And we don't know if it's an accident or on purpose or what's going on. Well, normally this lady is able to stay kind of emotionally detached. And in this case, she cannot. So she gets too invested and her daughter may be in danger. So don't really know. I love Mary Kubica and have read a handful of her books. Not a ton, but I've really liked everything that I've read. So I'll definitely pick this one up. Next, we have The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. So another one that really it's the author is the reason I'm interested in this book. Sarah Adams writes really cute but clean romance, I would say. So this is about college exes that meet back up. He is an NFL player. She is a sports agent. And now they're paired together, of course. And she broke his heart, so he's kind of out for revenge. So I think there's a little bit of like first love, second chance, or at least second chance romance. There's a little bit of kind of like enemies to lovers, although I don't think it's enemies. I think it's like fun banter. So we'll see. Next is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. So Abby Jimenez is really sketchy for me. Normally her books are kind of steamy, and so I don't know, but this is a really unique premise. So this is about two people, a male and a female, who both have a curse put on them, basically, where as soon as they break up with someone, that person then goes on to find their soulmate. So they're like, oh, we both have this curse, let's date each other, and then when we break up, we'll find our soulmates, right? And so then like life happens. I think something happens with her mother and he gets custody of nieces or nephews or something. Life happens basically, and they start to fall for each other. And so it's just an interesting concept and something I've never heard before. So I'm interested. Like I said, the steam level makes me a little nervous, but we'll see. Next is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. So this is a fascinating story about a woman who comes home and sees this whole life that's not what she remembered like being her house. And she's got this husband who she has no recollection of. And I mean, there's pictures on their phone. They've got this whole house and life established. So she knows that she's been married to him, but she doesn't have any recollection of him. And then he goes up to the attic to get a light bulb or something. And out comes another husband, and her life is completely different, as if she would have married this guy instead. And so she realizes that her attic is like this magical place where like different husbands come out. And I think it's just fascinating because it's going to be a conversation around when do we like say life is good enough, we're content with what we've got. I'm sure there's going to be positives and negatives to every situation, every husband, every potential life path. And so when are we content, or are we ever content? Are we always searching for the next best thing? I just think it's so interesting, and I love those kind of ideas. So next is Nosy Neighbors by Freya Sampson. And this one sounds like kind of the older person cozy mystery thing that's going on. Like it's kind of been a trend in publishing lately. So this is about like kind of a prickly 25-year-old girl and a 77-year-old nosy woman. They live in the same apartment building, and it's about to be demoed. And so I think they team up to try to save their apartment building. But then there's also some additional mystery to it. I don't know. It sounds really cute. Again, if you're looking for something kind of fun, lighthearted, sounds cute to me. Next is April 5th. We have Bride and Groom by Rona Halsall. So this is about a woman who was involved in the death of somebody just a couple days before her wedding, and her husband knows. And so it says they made vows or something, and they'll do anything to protect her secret. So I don't know. Sounds like it could be potentially stressful, and I've heard it's got a lot of twists and turns, so we'll see. Next is April 8th, The Secret Lives of Librarians and Booksellers by James Patterson and Matt Eversmann. So this one, I'm kind of like confused on why it's not coming out on a Tuesday. It's a series of short stories or letters or something, just talking about the lives and stories of booksellers and librarians. And I have never really had the desire, well, maybe that's not true, to be a bookseller or librarian. That's not exactly true. But I've just never actively pursued that. Anyway, I'm fascinated by the life of them, and just especially librarians. Librarians are so underrated, and the amount of things that they deal with is so much more than you would ever think. So I'm really excited to see what these stories include. Next is April 9th, The Vacancy in Room 10 by Seraphina Nova Glass. So this woman has this husband who's a quiet artist, seems like kind of a gentle soul. He calls her and confesses to a crime of some sort, and then he's found dead. So she goes to the hotel where he had his art studio. Apparently he had a room rented or something for his art studio, and discovers a lot about her husband that she never knew. And the hotel owner has secrets too. And so our main character might be in danger. Don't really know. Next is The Wedding Box by Toni Blake. So this one is not marked as Christian fiction, but it says miraculous and certain words that make me think it might be faith-based. But this is about a couple that's getting married, and the bride's aunt gives them a box, and it's supposedly the solution to any fight that they cannot resolve on their own. So she said anytime you have your first big fight where you guys cannot see eye to eye, you can't come to a solution, open this box. Well, time goes by, and they keep figuring out how to work through their problems, and so they keep not opening it. And then they really start to wonder what could be inside, and can it really fix a fight that we can't figure out? Or I don't know. Sounds interesting. Next is Tired of Being Tired, Receive God's Realistic Rest for Your Soul Deep Exhaustion by Jess Connolly. So this book is an interesting nonfiction, of course, about rest and exhaustion and probably burnout. I know there's some practical guides to one seeking what is God's intention with rest, what's the source of your exhaustion, and how to kind of overcome that, as well as the power of saying no, all those kind of things. And I think, it's a lot. All of us, we juggle so much. And sometimes you lose sight of your values and what you're living for. And you get so wound up in the to-do lists and all that this book should be really helpful. Okay, next is Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. This is another author that I have kind of a sketchy relationship with, so I'm not sure if I'm going to love it, but there's been a lot of hype, and the hype's got me, guys. So this is a daughter of a missing police detective. She goes back to her hometown. It's a drought, and so as waters kind of drop, secrets are unveiled, and I think she finds out more about her missing mother. The idea of a drought and all of that, it sounds really atmospheric, at least from the description. And again, I've heard so much about it that I want to pick it up, even if I'm cautious about it. Now we're on to April 10th, My Husband's Affair by Ruth Heald. So this is about a woman who finds out her husband's cheating, and she's out for blood. And the tagline is, "We promise forever, but only one of us will leave this marriage alive." And I don't know if this is going to be satirical or serious or what, but I always think it's funny or interesting to see women snap, the show Snapped and stuff. I think it's not funny because things are not good. But it's interesting to see when that happens. And I don't know if this is going to be something great or not, but it's touted as having a lot of twists. And so here we go. Next is April 15th, The Writer by Miranda Smith. So this is about a woman, a writer, as you might guess, who every week she goes and meets with a writing group, and she's writing a thriller. And so she's sharing her story every week. And then the things in her thriller start coming true. And somebody is like stalking her and leaving black hearts. And people are dying in the way that she's writing about and all of that. So she's not sure, like, is someone in her group like acting this stuff out? Or how does somebody know what's going on? Sounds interesting. Next is April 16th. We have The Sweet Life of Portia Macintosh. So this is about a woman going to her sister's destination wedding in Hawaii, and she needs a date. And the best man or whatever is her ex-boyfriend. So she really like wants to bring somebody so she doesn't look like she's single and he's not. And so she goes, she gets upgraded to a suite. Everyone's kind of catering to her, and she, I think, meets a guy or something. I'm hoping this is going to be like some self-discovery and just some like empowering stuff, but we'll see. Next is Long Weekend by S.M. Thomas. So this is one where I think the Kindle edition is coming out, even though the physical is not for a while. But this is about a woman who's given a ticket to go to this like new resort opening. I don't know if it's on an island. I think it is. And it has kind of ulterior motives. She wants to go and write about all the wealthy people that are also staying there. And it turns sinister. And so I think I think it's an island. So it's like a locked room thing. Somebody is killing people, and I don't know who. Next is The One That Got Away with Murder by Trish Lundy. This is a YA thriller about two brothers who are involved in two murders, but they're not convicted. And now there's this new girl in town, and she has her own secrets, and she starts dating one of the brothers. However, then a third death occurs, and she's not sure, is she next, or is this all like a big misunderstanding? The fact that it's YA may mean our main character is making silly decisions, and it's kind of frustrating to read, but I'm hoping it's good. Next is One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole. So Alyssa Cole's a romance author who ventured into thrillers somewhat recently. I have not read Someone Is Watching, No One Is Watching, something like that. I haven't read her first thriller, but this is about a woman who gets the opportunity to be a caretaker for a historic hotel or a historic home or something. It's abandoned. It's on an island. Again, stuff starts happening. There's a big storm. Everyone's trapped on the island, and there's a killer on the island. I'm intrigued. Next is April 18th, The Broken Marriage by Alina Wilkes. So this is about the perfect couple is hiding something deadly. So this couple is perfect on paper. Everybody thinks they're perfect. She has a former best friend who then shows up and brings some darkness with her. And the husband had, I don't know, some sort of connection with this friend. They all get trapped together in a snowstorm. I'm imagining things turn sinister. Again, there's kind of a theme. April 23rd, we have Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. Sally Hepworth is an author that I really enjoy. This is about three girls who were all foster children of this woman named Mrs. Fairchild, I think. And now she was not a good foster mother. So they all escaped her. And now it's years later. I think she died and Mrs. Fairchild, and there's a body found under their childhood home. So they are all either the three main witnesses, three main suspects. I don't really know. Next is Funny Story by Emily Henry. So Emily Henry, I loved People We Meet on Vacation. All the rest of her books have been kind of meh for me. And I know People We Meet on Vacation, it seems like it's kind of the divisive one. People either love it or don't. I did. So this one is about a woman who gets dumped. He decided he was in love with his childhood friend. And so our main character, I think her name is Daphne, she becomes friends with the man that the other woman dumped. Does that make sense? The childhood friend dumped her fiance or boyfriend or whatever. And so our main character becomes friends with him. I think they start living together, and then it's a friends to lovers thing. Sounds cute. I'll give it a try. Even though the rest of her books have been meh for me, I'm going to keep trying them because they're so hyped and because sometimes they're really cute. Next is A Game of Lies by Claire Macintosh. So this is about a reality show in the Welsh mountains where everyone has secrets. And if a player can discover your secret, not only are you eliminated, but your secret is publicized. So that sounds terrifying. Next is A Single Act of Kindness by Samantha Tung. Maybe. This is about a woman named Tilda who she thinks she's been kind of jaded by life, so she thinks she'll be good as long as she keeps everybody at arm's reach. And then this man needs some help. I don't know specifically what, but she he needs some help. She kind of lets her guard down to help him and realizes that her single act of kindness can actually change her more than it changes him. Sounds inspiring. Sounds cute. Next is Even When It Wasn't You by Kayla Terrell. This is about two teenagers who meet at a summer camp, and she's a private school kid. He's from a homeschool family, and they have this little romance, and because, they click. I don't know if it's a romance or a friendship, but I'm assuming it's a romance, and then she calls it off. And now at age 23, they are coming back together for somebody's wedding or something, and so you have to confront some of that past stuff, and we'll see. Next is The Summer We Started Over by Nancy Thayer. So Nancy Thayer is another author who writes generally pretty good romances, all usually kind of summery. This is about two sisters reconnect and pursue their dreams on Nantucket. So 'tis the season. Nantucket books are coming. This is overcoming life's challenges, finding new love. Sounds like a perfect women's fiction, just like I like. Next is Tourist Season by Brenda Novak, another one that I feel like is pretty reliable for some fun romances. This is a woman, she goes to her family's island cottage to reconnect with her fiance, but a hurricane comes before he can get there, and so she is staying with the cottage caretaker, and I think they share secrets. They probably get close to each other. Again, I'm a little nervous about the cheating element of this. We'll see if that happens. I hope not, but we'll see. Next is April 25th, The Girls Next Door by Anita Walker. So this is 4 girls born at the same time. They're lifelong best friends. They, I think in their little community, they were kind of known as a foursome. One of their husbands is having an affair, and then that man turns up dead. So is somebody, protecting this foursome and kind of doing their dirty work? Is it one of them? Who knows? Next is His Last Wife by Ruhi Chowdhury. And this one is about a woman's husband who was married before. He's got a kid. Well, supposedly his wife was abducted from a car sometime or whatever, and they never found her. Well, neighbors tell her, no, she was actually abducted from the house, and there's a room in the house that he doesn't want her to go in. So, of course, is this going to be a case of her not asking enough questions? I don't know, but we'll see. It sounds suspenseful. Again, marketed as having a ton of twists and thrills, so we'll see. Next is April 30th, The Museum of Lost Quilts by Jennifer Schiavarini. Golly, I probably butchered that. I've read this author before and enjoyed her all right. This is about a girl who's working on her master's degree, and she's kind of struggling. And so she decides to kind of take a break and go back to her hometown, Elm Creek Manor. So this is number 22 in a series. I'm assuming you don't have to read them in order at all, but she's the youngest member of this quilting society, and she's helping with an antique quilt fundraiser. And so you are learning about these antique quilts, and I'm sure there's going to be some stories around them. We'll see. Next is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. So I think I've read one Geneva Rose, and it was okay. I've heard a lot of mixed results on her, but this is about 3 estranged siblings that meet up after their mom dies. The oldest one had stayed and was the caretaker. The second one was having a lot of drug issues. The youngest left and never looked back. Now they're watching home movies as they're coming back to take care of things, and they see their parents hiding a body. So what were their parents up to? Don't know. Next is The Library of Borrowed Hearts by Lucy Gilmore. Just that title alone, honestly, is what got me. This is about a librarian named Chloe, so that's awesome. She finds a rare book, and then her neighbor offers to buy it for a super high price. And she's like, why? Well, she finds there's notes written throughout the book between her neighbor and a woman. And this isn't the only book that they've done that in. So it's kind of a search for all the books that has their notes, and sounds really sweet, really cute. Again, a young gal making friends with an older guy and talking about his past love. Sounds charming. Next is The Wedding Hitch by Claire McCauley. This is about, it's compared to Sophie Kinsella, so that's kind of what drew me in at first. But this is about a boyfriend. This girl's boyfriend proposes and says, we need 5 years to save and plan and all that before actually getting married. Okay, so sketchy. She wins this all expenses paid wedding at a resort, so that's convenient. And he says, actually, I don't want to get married. And so they break up, and she has 12 months to find a new groom because that's how long her winnings last. So sounds fun, sounds cute. Next is The Unexpected, Navigating Pregnancy During and After Complications by Emily Oster. So Emily Oster wrote Crib Sheet, Expecting Better. She's written a ton of really good nonfictions about pregnancy, childhood, all of those kind of things. And she does an exceptional job of like laying out the facts in a non-biased way. Here's what the research says. Do what you want, kind of as far as pregnancy things goes, as far as like the newborn stage goes, family data, I don't know what the third one is, but it's something about like your family structure. And again, just saying like, here's kind of what the research says, do what you want with it. And now this one is fascinating. For those of you who don't know, I have 3 kids. My third was a very, very complicated situation. We found out at 27 weeks that she had a medical issue and she was not healthy. She ended up being born a little bit before 32 weeks, and so we had a long NICU stay. There was just a lot. It was a very traumatic pregnancy, birth, all of that kind of stuff. And so if we were to have more kids, it would definitely be something that this book, I feel like, would be really helpful in navigating. And then next is Miss Morgan's Book Brigade by Janet Skeisline Charles. Now, this is the lady, I think, who wrote the Paris Library. I've read this and I've read that, I think, and didn't love it. I don't have a strong memory of it, so that's not a great sign. But this is about World War I. A woman leaves her job as a New York City public library librarian, and she decides to go help in this movement that is helping French cities rebuild. And while she's there, she introduces the idea of children's libraries. She starts some children's libraries, kind of makes the first female librarians, and then she disappears. And then there's also a present day storyline of present day, which I think it's like late 80s, 1980s, so not present day, but of a woman who is now a New York Public Library librarian, and she's trying to figure out the story of this woman from 1918 or whatever it is. So that is all the books coming out in April. I'm sure there's more. There's so many exciting ones coming out. I wish there was just all the time in the world. But let me know what you're excited for. Is there anything off this list that you hadn't heard of that you're interested in, or anything that you think I should really push to pick up? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.